Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Otereme, and if today is your first time seeing my videos, thank you so much for being here. Hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know whenever I upload a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this simple dress with the different layers of sleeve. The sleeve is actually the major part of this dress. I'm making this for someone else, and this is what I had after I was done making it. So if you like to know how to go about this, keep on watching and let's get started with the tutorial. So guys, to make this dress, you will need about 3 yards of your African print fabric or adire, and then about half yard of organza. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold the African print so that we can cut out the front. I have folded a piece of the fabric into two. I made sure to be sure that what I have folded is going to be enough to give me the client's body measurement. So this is what I have here. At the top here, I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line across to serve as our shoulder line since we are cutting on the actual fabric. Now I'm going to go in from this center here by 3 inches for the neck width, and I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches for the neck depth. I'll connect both points into a round neckline. Next, I'm going to go in by half of my client's shoulder measurement. I'll mark it here. And then from that point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch like this, and I'll connect it to the top of the neckline. Next, I'm going to come down by my client's armhole depth. So from the shoulder slope here, I'm going to come down by 8.5 inch, which is our armhole depth. I'm going to give you guys a calculation for this armhole depth on the screen. We're going to be connecting our armhole to meet this point. But before then, here I'm going to go ahead and divide my client's bust measurement into four, and I'll make a mark here. So now I'll use my free hand to connect the armhole to meet this point here. So guys, after drawing out the armhole, I'm going to measure from the shoulder down to her bust point, which is 11 inches. And I'm going to draw a line across, and then I'll mark her bust measurement right here. I connected it to the armhole back, and from the shoulder again, I'm going to measure down to her hip line. So shoulder to hip for her is 23 inches here. And on this line, I'm going to mark her hip measurement divided by 4. So now I'm supposed to connect all of these together, but because this is going to be like an A shape kind of thing going on, so I'm not going to be marking exactly on this hip line. I'm just going to use my ruler to just have like a slant away from where our hip point is. So that about 1 inch that I'm going to be marking away from the hip line is going to serve as the ease. This dress is not going to be too wide, but at the same time, it's not going to be very tight on the body. Okay, so that's what I've done here. I gave it like an A shape situation going on. So from the shoulder, I'm going to measure down to her length that she wants the whole dress to be, which is at 41 inches, but I'm marking this at 42 so that when I'm done, it will fall down to 41. So I'm going to draw a straight line across this point here. And then what I like to do is on the side, whenever I do something like an A shape, I like to go up by 1 inch and then connect it back into the end like this. Okay, so this is it. Now we are going to go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to cut out the neckline, the shoulder, the armhole. But on the side, I'm going to be adding an extra about 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. Remember, we've not added stitching allowance to the side, so you need to add to the side. The allowance I added to the side before was for ease, not for stitching allowance. Okay, so yeah, after adding that, this is what I had. This is what the front is looking like. We are going to use this piece now to cut out the back. So guys, for the back, I've drawn out a zipper allowance here. It's 1.5 inch all the way to the end, and I have two pieces aligned right sides facing each other. So now I'm going to be bringing the front piece, and I'll be placing the center front exactly on this zipper allowance line that I drew out. Make sure everything is well arranged, and then I'm just going to cut out the top so that I can cut out the back neckline. So for the back neckline, I want to come down by 2 inches. I came down by 2 inches and connected it into the rest of the neckline, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. So after that, every other thing is basically the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to cut the armhole, the sides, and the end. So this is what I have now for the front and back. I'm going to go ahead and cut out facings for the neckline. So guys, I've used the neckline for both the front and back to cut out my facings, and this is what I have. I already went ahead to fold all the way around the end of the facing. This one is for the front neckline, and you can see it fits in perfectly. After placing it, I'm going ahead to just pin it all the way around the neckline, and I'm going to stitch it down on the sewing machine. So I'll stitch here all the way around and then make a top stitch and turn it over to secure the neckline. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing for the back pieces as well. So I'm going to place each one on the neckline like I'm doing here, and I'll go ahead and stitch it down. So this is what I had after I was done turning the neckline. I'll hem the neckline with my needle and thread when I'm done with everything. Now I'm placing the front and the back together, right sides facing each other on the shoulder. You can see I've already stitched down the facing for the back neckline as well. So I'm arranging everything on the shoulders now, like you see me doing. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of the facing for either the front or back. You can pick anyone to turn the whole neckline. So as everything is arranged, I'll use one of the facing to turn everything like this, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it down. If you have any other method you use to join your shoulders, you can go ahead and use that method. So I'm going to stitch this area down here, and I'll do the same thing for the other side as well. After stitching on the shoulders, this is what I have. You can see how neat everything is looking. So now I am going to go ahead and turn the wrong side and align the back openings so that I can fix my zipper and close up the remaining part of the center back. So I'm going to be placing a long zipper, okay? So my zipper is going to be starting from the top to somewhere around here. Let me just mark it here. Okay, and then from this point down, I'm going to just make a normal straight stitch to join the two pieces together, and at the top, I'll fix my zipper. So this is what I had after I was done fixing my zipper to the upper part and then securing the end. Now the next thing is for us to work on the sleeves. So guys, I've gone ahead to draft out a basic long sleeve pattern. I already have a video on how to go about that on my channel. So now what I'm going to do is at the end of the sleeve here, I'm going to divide what I have into two equal halves, and now use that measurement to mark all the way to the top. I'm going to be slashing and spreading this out a little bit so that we can get that wide opening we have on the sleeve. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and join this, just divide from the end, use whatever measurement you have, and use it to take all the way to the top. So from the end, I'm just going to go ahead and cut through this line all the way to the top, but make sure that it doesn't cut out fully. Okay, so once you're okay with it and you can spread it out, just go ahead and leave it like this. Now you're going to bring in another piece of pattern paper and align the center of your sleeve exactly with the side of the pattern paper, and then spread out the other part. So just go ahead and pin out everything like this, and then I'm just going to connect the 2 points like this so that it continues to be like a sleeve measurement, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the sleeve. Now this becomes a wider sleeve because we've opened it up at the end, and now this is the sleeve we are going to be working with. So now from the armhole area, I am going to measure down to about 10 inches for the first layer of my sleeve. And then for the first layer of organza, I'll just mark 2 inches here. So I'm going to draw a straight line across. Now the next part that is going to be Ankara will be longer than the organza. So I'll mark about 5 inches here. Okay, so I'll mark 5 inches here, and I will draw a line across as well. Now the next one is going to be organza, so I'll mark it here at 2.5 inches. The first one was 1.5. The second is 2.5, so I'll mark it here. And then for the next layer of African print, I measured 4 inches, and I'm drawing a line across. And then I'll mark 2.5 inches again to get the next layer of organza. So I'm going to just make marks on all the areas that I'm going to be cutting on my organza like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut out every piece. Just make sure to look at the areas I'm cutting out so that you know exactly what to do. Let me take you back to a time when love was as precious as diamonds. Where if you search you would find. Okay guys, so these are all the pieces I'm going to be using to cut out the sleeve. The ones I marked, I'll be cutting them out on my organza, and every other piece will be on the actual fabric. So I placed all the other piece on my actual fabric. As you can see, I gave about 1 inch distance away from each one. And now I'm going ahead to cut out everything. I folded this into four because I'm cutting out the two sleeves at the same time. Okay, so now I'm going to cut through each layer like this. Make sure you have about quarter of an inch stitching allowance. Cut through like this and then cut through just like you see me doing like this. So now these are all the African print layers. I'm going to go ahead and use organza to cut out these other ones, and I will show you guys what it looks like. So this is what I had after I was done cutting out the organza layers. As you can see, I went ahead to label all the pieces 1 to 7 so that I will not mix them up. So now for the first layer, which is labeled 1, I am going to be attaching this one labeled 2, which is an organza. So I'll place it right sides facing each other, and I'm just going to stitch down and then follow up with 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 like that. So guys, this is what I had after I was done stitching everything down with the organza layers, you can see. And I went ahead to cut off the excess allowances and overlocked the ends so that the allowances will not be showing through the organza. So now I measured the length that I have here and it's perfect for what I need it for. Okay, so this is what I have for the two sleeves. Now we are going to be attaching the sleeve to the armhole, which is literally very easy. So you're going to pick the middle of the sleeve and then the joining you have on your armhole, you pin it down, and then you are going to continue to arrange the sleeve into the armhole like this and just stitch it all the way around to the other side as well. So guys, after I was done fixing my sleeve, this is what it looks like, and this is what the other sleeve is looking like as well. So the last part of this is for us to join the sides. So I'm going to turn everything over to the wrong side. And I'm going to make a stitch from the sleeve all the way through to the body of the dress and do the same thing for the other side. I went ahead to stitch down with just about ½ inch. I did the same thing on the other side as well. So after I was done, the whole thing was free, but not too free. I stitched down the ends as well, and this is what I had after I was done. So yeah, this is very simple. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.